Algebra 2 CST released packet. I'm going to be jumping around a little bit. I'm going to work on some of the log questions, the 4 of them in particular. I'm going to start with here with number 57, which asks us which is the first incorrect step in simplifying log base 4 of 4 over 64. They're showing us these 3 steps, and one of these, there has to be something wrong in one of these, so we'll look at the first one. They're taking the original log, they're expanding it by taking the numerator first and subtracting the denominator, and that is correct. When you have the fraction there, the fraction becomes subtraction. The fraction will make you subtract the numerator and denominator, so that's correct. They've both got the base of 4, so that's good. Then from step 1 to step 2, they're changing log base 4 of 4 to 1. And remember that when you're evaluating a log, you're basically finding the exponent. What this is saying is that 4 to some power equals 4. Well, does 4 to the first equal 4? Yes, it does. So that one is correct. The second one now, they're saying 4 to something equals 64. What they're saying here is that 4 to the 16th power is 64, which isn't true. If you even try to put this in the calculator, I don't think you would even work it out for you because it's too big. 4 to the third is 64, so that 16 should have been a 3. That's the wrong part, which means that step 2 has the first incorrect step, so our answer for 57 is B. I'm going to skip around here now again. 59 is the next one I'm going to look at. And similar idea, you have all these steps, you've got all these logs, and we're trying to decide where the first error is. It says a student showed the following steps in the solution of the equation below, but his answer was not correct. So we've got log base 5 of this whole big thing minus log base 5 of x minus 1 plus log base 5 of 125 equals 6. Then they're starting by factoring. So the first thing they're doing is factoring 2x squared minus 3x plus 1 into this, 2x minus 1 and x minus 1. And if you did check this by following, that would be correct, so that's fine. Minus, and then they didn't change this log, that stayed the same. They changed this log to a 3, and from that last problem, remember that they're saying that 5 to the third is 125, and that works, so that's correct. So step 1 is all good. Now let's compare step 1 to step 2. All of this is the same. Look at, notice the log, the parentheses, minus, the log, and the only thing that's changing is this 6 becomes a 3. Well, they're taking this plus 3, they're subtracting it. 6 minus 3 is 3. Yes, that works, and then that's all good. Now, we're going to this step. The 3 on the right didn't change, so now what they're doing is they're taking this, they're condensing it to get this. So if we do condense correctly, log base 5 of, remember that the fraction or the subtraction becomes a big fraction. This would go on top, 2x minus 1, x minus 1, and then on the bottom we'd have that x minus 1. These now cancel, which leaves us with the log with just that 2x minus 1, but notice what they put here. They didn't put the 2x minus 1, they put the x minus 1. That is the wrong answer, or the wrong step. So the first error would be step 3, which means our answer for 59 is C. Skipping ahead again, 66. Here they're giving us just a simple log. We don't have to find an error or anything. We're asked to take this log. This should equal one of these when they're expanding. Now, the one thing that you could do, you could split up the 40 and make it 8 and 5. And you could do a log base 6 of 8 plus log base 6 of 5, because the addition in the logs means multiplication. 8 times 5 is 40. But notice that none of these have numbers other than just that 6 and the 40, so that's the only thing they're working with. So this first one, this addition would mean 6 times 40, 240. That's not going to be it. This subtraction means it would be 6 over 40. That's not going to work. The multiplying logs, we never really, when you're using these log exponent rules, we're never really multiplying logs. So C is typically, that's an inappropriate answer. Now if we take a look at D, they've taken the log 40 put that on top, log 6 on the bottom. That does work for change of base formula, because if you're using a calculator, this is how you would plug it in the calculator. But remember, this is the tricky thing, is that in the calculator, the base of the calculator is always 10. We just don't usually write it. So our answer for 66 is D. That's the only one that's matching log base 6 of 40. 67 is the last one I'll do for this video. Jonathan wrote the equation log base 6 of x minus 4 equals 0 on the board. He needs one clue for problem solving. Which fact provides the correct information that he needs to solve the equation? Now, if you're going to solve it, if I just write the equation there isn't a log on the other side, which means I can't cancel the log, but what I can do is write it in an exponential form to get rid of the log. So when I do that, this base becomes our exponent, this base becomes the base, sorry, the little base 6 becomes the base, this 0 becomes the exponent, and then that x minus 4 gets left by itself there. So when you look here, the fact that he needs would be the fact that we're using 6 to the 0 power, because anything to the 0 power is 1 would be equal to x minus 4, which means that we use the fact that 6 to the 0 power equals 1. So the answer for 67 is A.